The drama surrounding the transfer market this summer feels like something ripped from a novel. Twists, betrayals, last-minute negotiations, and desperate clubs fighting against the clock. Every day, another shock headline breaks. Every hour, a new name is linked, and in the background, the clock ticks louder and louder, reminding clubs, players, and agents alike that time is running out. What began as just another transfer window has turned into a theater of tension and suspense, with some of football's brightest talents caught at the center of storms far greater than themselves. Real Madrid, for example, were supposed to be quiet this summer. The grand strategy was well rehearsed, drilled into place by Florentino Perez's meticulous patience. Do not overspend, do not panic, wait for contracts to run down, and pounce when the time is right. It worked for Antonio Rudiger. It worked spectacularly for Kylian Mbappe. It was expected to work for Ibrahima Konate, the French defender whose Liverpool contract is approaching its end. Madrid's plan was straightforward. Wait a year, pick him up for free, and reinforce their backline with a defender of Champions League pedigree without burning a hole in the budget. But this is football, and football rarely unfolds according to script because Liverpool have plans of their own. With Arne Slot reshaping the squad and the club eyeing reinforcements like Marc Guehi and Giovanni Leone, the hierarchy at Anfield may no longer see sense in holding on to Konate if he's already made up his mind to leave. Why let a player walk away for free in 12 months when they could at least recover a modest fee now? The whispers are growing louder that Madrid may swoop early, unsettling Liverpool with direct contact to the player, throwing all their carefully laid patience into doubt. If Konate truly has given Madrid a verbal agreement, then Liverpool are facing an impossible choice: cash in now or lose him for nothing. And just to complicate matters further, Paris Saint-Germain are lurking in the background, ready to pounce if Madrid hesitate. It is a dangerous game, a high-wire act played under the harsh spotlight of European football politics. As the Konate saga drags on, Manchester United find themselves wrestling with an entirely different headache. Jadon Sancho's story at Old Trafford has long turned sour. Once the golden boy, a $73 million investment meant to electrify the right wing, Sancho has instead become a ghost on the wage bill, earning staggering sums while offering little in return. The fans have turned, the manager has moved on, even Sancho himself has opened the door to an exit, his once bright Premier League dream now reduced to the hope of salvation abroad. Roma have emerged as the leading candidate, offering United a loan deal with an obligation to buy for around $20 million. United wanted a clean break, a permanent transfer to draw a line under the failure, but the calendar is merciless. With the window closing and no buyers queuing up, they may have no choice but to accept Roma's offer. For Sancho, the move could be the last chance to rescue a career that has already drifted dangerously close to obscurity. He would fit perfectly into Roma's system, sliding into a role as a hybrid winger playmaker, closer to the middle of the pitch, just as he has long preferred. Yet there is a bitter irony in all this. United once paid $73 million for his signature. Now they're preparing to let him go for less than a third of that sum. It is a fall from grace as dramatic as any in recent football memory. While United are busy cutting losses, Juventus are plotting additions. Randall Kolo Muani has finally got what he's wanted all summer, a return to Turin. He has ignored Newcastle, rejected Tottenham's better financial package, and turned down other offers, all for the chance to wear black and white once again. The deal is close, structured as an expensive loan with a mandatory purchase, totaling around $60 million. PSG will take a loss, having paid close to $95 million for him only last year, but they no longer see him as indispensable. Juventus, meanwhile, see him as crucial. In just half a season, he delivered 10 goals, 3 assists, and performances that proved his chemistry with the team. His return would provide the spark they need in attack, even as they wrestle with the uncertainty around Dusan Vlahovic. It is a bold investment, but in a summer where loyalty and preference have often been secondary to money, Kolo Muani's outright desire to return to Turin feels like a rare reminder of old-fashioned football passion. Passion, however, will not solve Tottenham's crisis. James Maddison's injury has left them without a creative hub, and the club's ambitions demand urgent reinforcements. The answer may lie in Catalonia, where Dani Olmo finds himself caught in Barcelona's financial storm. A year ago, Olmo fulfilled his dream by joining Barca, but dreams at Camp Nou are fragile things, easily sacrificed when the balance sheets demand blood. Now, Barcelona are open to a sale, knowing that $52 million would ease their wage burden and allow them to pursue other targets. Tottenham have sensed the opportunity and already moved ahead of rivals in the race. For them, Olmo is not just a temporary stand-in for Maddison, but potentially a long-term leader, capable of dictating play as a 10, drifting wide, or even operating as a false 9. His versatility, intelligence, and timing make him the perfect fit for Thomas Frank's system. And yet, as always, there is competition. Saudi Arabia lurks with mountains of cash, but Olmo has hinted at preferring Europe and the pursuit of trophies. Tottenham know they must act quickly before Barca change their mind or another suitor swoops in. Meanwhile, across the Premier League, a different tug of war is playing out. Chelsea believed they were on the verge of sealing a deal for Xavi Simons, a generational Dutch talent with flair and tactical versatility. Personal terms were agreed, and the player wanted the move. But negotiations with RB Leipzig have stalled over the fee. Leipzig wants 60 million, Chelsea are offering closer to 50 million. Into this hesitation walks Manchester City, watching carefully from the shadows. Pep Guardiola has already sanctioned the exit of Jack Grealish on loan, while other attacking options are thinning. The prospect of adding Simons, a player tailor-made for Guardiola's philosophy, is too tempting to ignore. City have the money to simply pay Leipzig's asking price outright, and if they decide to move, Chelsea's deal could crumble in an instant. For Simons, the choice would not be easy. More minutes at Chelsea, perhaps, but more trophies and greater challenges at City. The clock ticks, and the Blues know that every day of indecision increases the chance of losing their target to the one club almost impossible to outbid. Not all transfer sagas are fought in boardrooms. Some unfold on training grounds, or rather, in the absence of players from them. At Newcastle, Alexander Isak has sparked open conflict by refusing to train. For several days, he has boycotted sessions, effectively holding the club hostage in protest at their refusal to let him join Liverpool. A fee of $138 million has reportedly been agreed, yet the final approval is still missing, and Isak has run out of patience. His agent has encouraged the stance, pushing Newcastle to accelerate negotiations. Eddie Howe's calm public stance cannot mask the growing tension inside the club. If Isak continues his boycott into match days, fines, suspensions, and even a sale to someone other than Liverpool become possibilities, it is a volatile standoff, and one that threatens to fracture Newcastle's season before it even begins. For Liverpool, however, it is a gift. Isak is already a proven Premier League scorer, capable of delivering immediately, and Arne Slot knows that players of such caliber are rare to find, but Newcastle hold the contracts and the power, and if they refuse to budge, Isak may have to pay a steep personal price for his rebellion. While forwards and midfielders dominate headlines, goalkeepers are not immune to drama. Andre Lunin, Real Madrid's perpetual understudy, finds himself at another crossroads. Once again, the Ukrainian goalkeeper is linked with a move away, this time to Fenerbahce under the watchful eye of Jose Mourinho. For Lunin, the chance of regular football is finally real. Courtois has recovered from injury and reclaimed the #1 spot, leaving Lunin condemned to the bench once again. Fenerbahce's offer, alone with an option to buy, gives him an escape, and Mourinho's direct involvement suggests this is more than idle speculation. Madrid, though, must weigh their options carefully. Lunin's contract runs until 2028, proof that they still value him, but if he pushes for a move, will the club deny him? Much depends on whether Madrid are willing to find a new backup keeper on short notice, and whether Fenerbahce secure Champions League qualification. For Lunin, the decision may shape the prime years of his career. At Barcelona, the drama shifts. From midfield to attack, Robert Lewandowski's time as an untouchable star is nearing its end. Despite his loyalty, despite rejecting a Saudi offer worth over $100 million a year, the club are already preparing for life without him. The name on their lips is Dusan Vlahovic, the Juventus forward whose career has stalled in Turin. At Fiorentina, he was devastating, a striker with a lethal finish and explosive runs beyond defenders. At Juventus, he has been misused, forced into a system that plays to his weaknesses, turning him from a phenomenon into merely a solid option. Barcelona see the potential to unlock him again, and with Lewandowski sidelined by injury, the urgency has grown. Juventus want to offload him. Barcelona are circling, and the result could be a dramatic changing of the guard at Camp Nou. Imagine the irony. The irony, Lewandowski rejects riches to stay in Catalonia, only for Barcelona to replace him anyway. It is a ruthless decision, but ruthlessness is often the currency of survival in modern football. And then, perhaps the most emotionally charged saga of all, Alejandro Garnacho's push to leave Manchester United for Chelsea. At just 21, Garnacho has been told he has no future at Old Trafford. Once hailed as a rising star, he is now surplus to requirements. But Garnacho is not leaving quietly. He has rejected other suitors, Bayer Leverkusen, Napoli, even. Sides offering more money because he wants Chelsea specifically. Personal terms are already agreed. The only obstacle is the fee. United want 50 million, Chelsea want to pay closer to 35-40 million. The gap is shrinking, but negotiations remain tense. For Garnacho, it is agony. He knows his days at United are over, and all he can do is wait while the two clubs argue over his price tag. Chelsea, sensing United's weak position, are playing hardball, exploiting the player's desperation to force down the fee. United, for their part, are trying to salvage some dignity from the wreckage of yet another failed youth project. In the end, compromise seems inevitable, 42 to 45 million perhaps, and Garnacho will get his wish. But in typical transfer fashion, nobody will walk away entirely happy except the player who finally gets his escape. From Madrid's plotting with Konate to Sancho's last chance in Rome, from Kolo Muani's loyalty to Juventus to Olmo's uncertain future in London, from City's looming hijack of Chelsea's deal to Isak's rebellion at Newcastle, from Lunen's restless ambition to Barcelona's ruthless hunt for Vlahovic and Garnacho's pleading exit, this transfer window has been less a market and more a battlefield. Clubs fight with money, players fight with silence or rebellion, agents pull the strings, and the fans watch in awe as careers, dreams, and fortunes are decided by the ticking of the clock. And so we turn the question over to you. Which of these sagas will end in heartbreak and which will end in triumph? Will Konate truly leave Anfield for Madrid? Can Sancho find redemption in Italy? Will Olmo light up Tottenham, or will Guardiola swoop in for Simons instead? Is Isak's rebellion bravery or folly? And will Garnacho finally wear Chelsea blue before the deadline strikes midnight? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. If you've enjoyed this deep dive into the chaos of the transfer window, hit the like button to show your support, and don't forget to subscribe so you never miss the next twist in football's never-ending drama. Because if this window has proven anything, it's that in football, the truth is often stranger than fiction.